Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Irreplaceable. And I am your host, Ira. Today, I have a new announcement to make. I am starting a part of Irreplaceable that's called Iced Tea with Ira. Okay. And the way this goes is I'm currently having an iced tea. And I just put it up on my Instagram, questions that you would like to ask me on the podcast. And I got in a couple of questions. I honestly thought no one would write to me because it's been so many episodes where I've been like, oh, you know what? If you want advice, just like write it down, send it to me. You can email it to me. But the trick in the book was actually I should have just, put it by Instagram, and I should have, just put up a pop-up box and be like, you know what, guys, just like drop in your questions and I would love to answer them. And well, that happened. So, if you don't know, we are now on Instagram and you can follow us on Irreplaceable Podcast. So, it's called irreplaceable.podcast and it's, oh my God, you'll just see it. You'll see the same logo on Instagram. So, follow me. I have started getting pretty active on Instagram now. So, yeah, let's connect there and you can share questions. And we normally do this on Saturday, Sundays, where I go like, you know what, you can just drop in your questions and I will talk about it on my next episode. And finally, this is the first episode where we're going to talk about this. And why is it called Iced Tea with Ira? Why? Okay, so this all happened when I was on a trip to Thailand in 2022 and I'd gone there to celebrate New Year's. So I don't know if you remember the travel episode, but I'm a solo traveler and I solo travel a lot, okay? So I was on this trip where I was meeting people like complete strangers, group of 30 people under 30 and they're all like single people, okay? So in Thailand, okay, where there was like a lot of heat, there was a lot of thing happening and me being the chatterbox I am, I was there stirring up some drama, darling. So what we used to do is one evening, because people weren't really gelling in with each other and I kind of already went and had myself introduced to everyone. So I decided that, you know what, let's just do like a icebreaker, and we were sitting by the beach. It was sunset time and everyone had drinks with them and I had an iced tea. Okay, so our travel host, she comes up and she's sitting and, she just gathers everyone and she's like, come on, guys, it's been like 2-3 days into the trip. We again have like 7 days more. Why don't we all just like introduce ourselves and like talk or play games? And no one was really doing anything, okay? So she just looks at me and she's like, Ira, come on, play a game like Truth or Dare or something, and we'll call it a segment. And I was like, oh, I don't really know. She's like, come on, let's have iced tea with Ira. Come on, let's make it hot. So I was like, you know what? That sounds so good. So here's the first part of iced tea with Ira. And this was basically when we started talking and, having questions and here and there and talk about life and relationships and stuff like that. So every week or maybe bi-weekly, I don't know. Let's see how the vibes go. But I'm going to start this segment of doing iced tea with Ira. So let's get started. So all these questions are going to be anonymous and I'm going to read them out and I'm going to give you solutions about it. Okay, so let's get started. So the first one is, hi, I'm nearly in a long distance relationship. And I'm insecure about my boyfriend because he has a girl best friend who lives nearby and they hang out every day and they talk every day. And he says there's nothing, but I feel uncomfortable with her presence. What should I do? Oh, girl. Oh, my God. This is difficult. Okay. Red flag. Okay, this is a red flag. Now, here's the thing. Did you know that he had a girl best friend before you got into a relationship? Has this girl best friend come now? So, it depends on these things. Like, did you walk into this relationship knowing that they had a dynamic? Then, yeah, you're at fault because You kind of signed up for that thing. But if it's affecting your mental health and you're really insecure about it, let's say you didn't know. If you didn't know and this was a later on development, then this is a red flag. This is a red flag that he suddenly got a girl best friend while you're in a relationship. Like, how did this bloom? You need to get to the crux of it. And if this is bothering you, making you feel insecure, like you said, it depends on the magnitude of how insecure you're feeling. If this is something that you guys constantly fight about, if you literally do not discuss it, if he is avoidant about it, I don't want to be extreme, but leave. Just leave. Like, try talking to him that this makes you uncomfortable and see if he is willing to change or like choose between you and her. Because if I were in your place personally, Ira would not stay there. I would not stay there. It is not, listen, I've been a girl best friend. Trust me, there is one or the other in that friendship who has lingering feelings. So, one, I do not get into relationships with people who have an opposite gender, girl best friend or boy best friend, until the lore goes back, like really like years back. They were friends since middle school, high school, and their relationship has been longer than my relationship. And even in that moment, they've never dated, or that girl best friend has a boyfriend or has someone in her life. But still, I wouldn't get into a relationship like this in the first place. But if you're already in a situation where you get into a relationship with another person and they have someone else, and this was a new development, you should be a little careful about it. Because if this happened after you guys started dating, I kind of feel that your partner doesn't respect you enough, or there is not enough trust that they are more closer. Because I feel that in a relationship, you need to be each other's best friends. And is that girl friends with you? How is your relationship with her? Are you guys cool? Have you spoken to her before? Have you done like a background check on her? Because if she and him got in together after you and him started dating, I think it's something to be on the lookout for. Because long distance in itself is hard. It is difficult. And a lot of people are out of sight, out of mind. So depends on your dynamic. How are you really coping? Because long distance is already hard. On top of that, you have this friction. You don't really know what they're doing behind your back. And trust me, I do not trust people. Like, I can't believe I just said this statement after saying trust me, but I let actions speak for themselves. So look at his behavior, look at his actions. When you're confronting him about this, when you're asking him questions about this, is he getting defensive? Is he shutting you down? You know, what is the resolution going to? You know, what is it going forward? Is he spending more time with her than he's spending with you? Then it's a question mark. Because you know what? If you love your friend so much, go be with your friend. Go be with your friend. I can never be that chill. I can never be that chill. Call me like old school or whatever. But yeah, I think you should have a discussion with him about this. And then you should really see how his reaction is. And number one, always listen to your gut feeling. That shit never lies. If your gut feeling says something's fishy, if his character produces any level of doubt in your mind, get out. No, long distance is anyways hard, dude. Like, it's not worth it. Next. Okay, these are getting spicy. The next question I've gotten is, hey, I've been single for a really long time waiting to be in a relationship. I've always wanted to be in a relationship, but it is not happening. I keep making myself better, like going to the gym, reading, doing a good job, but all options I'm getting is for hookups. I'm a decent looking and a decent girl. My standards are not very high, I just want someone who does the same things as I do. Is it that difficult to find? I do not want to use dating apps. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what have we gotten into? Isn't this the problem with all of us, huh? I don't know how old you are, my friend, but the situation right now in the present times with the world, how it's going, dating is quite difficult, okay? And this happens a lot that as you keep upgrading yourself, you want to be in a circle full of people. Even when it comes to friendships, even when it comes to relationships, you want to be with the same kind of people. And especially if you do not want to use dating apps, the best thing you can use is your mutuals. See friends of friends, because you and the people you surround yourself with belong to a certain standard, right? Certain class. Try looking for love at work. But again, this is not something I would recommend because a lot of companies have policies. It's also weird, like if you don't work out, your work situation would get weird. But mutuals is something that you can go for if you really don't want to use dating apps. Because one, these mutuals come verified because your friends know how they are. So you're kind of safe and protected because on dating apps, you will find people you have like no idea about them. They're strangers. But at least with mutuals, you can get an idea of how this person would be through your friend. But, go ahead with caution, because if things go down badly between you and this person, then your mutual would get stuck in a crossfire. And a lot of people are very uncomfortable doing that. A lot of mutuals themselves are waiting for this person to be available to them, so they really won't share you the best options. But if dating apps are completely out of the league for you, you could do that. And I read that you do go to the gym, which is also a great place to find someone, because when you are into similar hobbies and into same things, chances of meeting someone, gradually there is high. So, change your gym timing. If you find someone cute at the gym, go up to them and talk to them, see how it goes. Gym is a very beautiful community, and I think you could find your person there. But the reality is, the higher you get more educated, you get more beautiful, you get more successful, the dating pool shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And I don't know how old you are, but like even with age, the dating pool shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. So the older you are, the more difficult it is to date, because finding someone with that same compatibility mindset, things you're looking out for, because again, you said you don't want to hook up, and people looking for relationships in this generation, they're very less. And people who just want to date to marry, they're even less. So if that's the intention with which you want to go ahead, I'll suggest you have to be picky. And I think in your situation, when, especially as a woman, you said you're a girl, as you keep growing older, you get pickier and you need quality, because you don't have a lot of time to waste. And you shouldn't be also that person who's just messing around. Like, I really like the way you've, described yourself. I mean, I feel you're a catch. And even that, your standards are not very high. You just want someone who does the same thing. And I feel like a lot of women are punished for just keeping the standards as bare minimum. So, you know what? Till you find a decent person, being single is not that bad, especially in today's generation. So, oh my God, you know what? Hit me up if I have any mutuals. I don't know, link you guys up. But the best thing, I think, your bets are asking your friends to let the word out that you're single and you're looking for a relationship, and to change your gym timing and see if you find someone who, potentially you like, or like you can be attracted to. So it's difficult, girl. I get it. I'm sort of in the same position, but it happens. Okay, next. And this is the last question. I think I'll do 3 questions today. Okay, the next question is, hi, Every time I speak to a new person, I get attached very quickly. I keep calling and texting them every day, and I think I've started developing feelings for them. But my whole mood revolves around them and their replies, and my day is ruined if they do not text. And I am scared one day they will stop talking to me. How do I stop being so attached? It's affecting my life. Wow. Okay, we've got an anxious attachment style here, guys. Whew. So, my dear friend, this happens when you have an anxious attachment style. When you are so dependent on someone's connection with you that everything else in the world just doesn't make sense and all you care about is them. You have hyperfixated on this person and this person is your first priority. Now that you've heard me, this needs to change. Your first priority has to be you. Because if you keep picking up every niche obsession, person, anything that you hyperfixate on, those things would just be temporary. If your happiness is based on the fact of how someone treats you, behaves with you, talks to you, then you are not the center of your universe. You're not the main character. This person is the main character. And this person is controlling you like a puppet. You have a puppet master, darling. So you need to understand that at the basics, this is wrong. And this is what social media does, because the point of availability or being online sometimes makes us feel that this person, has to reply to me, or like we are connected. Like, how can this person not make me a priority the way I have made them a priority? That's why you need a bit of social media training. And I feel a lot of people could benefit from this because we're not really taught how to expect things out of chatting, texting, social media, and how to really regulate it. And that's why our emotional levels and dopamines are literally linked to this. 1, you need to stop making them the center of your universe, and you need to find a different center that is something that will not leave you, that is fixed. Please make yourself that center, okay? Now that you have made yourself the center, you need a priority list. You need to first of all touch some grass, okay? Because if this person has so much control over you, do you realize how easily you can get manipulated? Anything this person does is going to affect you so deeply, and this is just the beginning stage, like you said, like you've just started talking to them. Now, if you talk every day to a donkey, you will fall in love with the donkey. Facts, okay? 1, you need to regulate really hard. Otherwise, you'll end up behaving like an addict. You are craving their presence when they're not there. Your mood is so much dependent on them. Talking to them is what you're looking forward to. And initially, when you're talking to someone romantically, yeah, that makes sense, It happens, we all get infatuations and stuff like that. But it's up to the point when it starts taking control over your life. You're so infatuated, you're so obsessed that everything is just about them. And you need to identify this and separate yourself from your feelings. And this is a very good thing that you've written it to me. Just the way you've written it to me has made me understand that you are very self-aware and you know that this is hurting your life and you want to take the steps for it. So that's a really commendable approach. Number 1, find a core, a center that does not change. Okay, that has to be you. You have to be your own priority. Number 2, in your priority list, give them a ranking and make a schedule. When you have anxious attachment style, having a schedule helps so much. This is how you're going to have a schedule like an anxious attachment style, okay? if you have to talk to them, if you have to text them daily, and it's just non-negotiable, instead of just waiting for their text to pop up throughout the day, have a fixed time with them, like 9 to 10 at night, or in the evening, 6 to 7, whatever is comfortable and works for both your schedules. Because when you have a fixed time, daily, weekly, or however it is, it gives you something to look forward to, and you have that security in your head that, hey, at this time we're going to talk eventually. So you're not going to be anxious the whole day waiting that, when are they going to text, checking your phone constantly. And you're secure that at this time, this is going to happen. And you can look forward to it. It leads up to it. And, it is something that's going to happen. 2, if you're worried, you mentioned that you're worried that they're going to leave you. This is again a classic trait of someone who is anxiously attached. Ask yourself, why do you think people are going to leave you? And what is about you? Are you doing something that's making people leave you or not want to be with you? Because you are putting this decision on them, not on you. So you need to be pretty secure in yourself that come what may. If people leave me, it's their loss. Another one will come. I'll get obsessed with another person. Another person will entertain me, because you should never feel that there is a limitation of people. You should always have that there are so many people and I'm such a prize. Why would someone want to leave me? If you have that scarcity fear that this person is everything, this person is the only person, then you are going to perpetually be in that fear. So you really need to develop that confidence that people are not going to leave you. And even if they do, their loss, good riddance, God's plan, because anything that has left me was not mine to begin with. So do not have this sense of ownership over someone's time or energy. Just feel that, I'm living in the moment. I'm grateful for however it is coming to me. And I'm not going to put so much expectation and pressure on this and on this whatever talking stage, relationship, friendship, situationship, whatever is going on with you. Because you need to start putting the seeds of security in your mind. You need to start feeling secure from this point, regardless of, anyone can come, anyone can go, but I have made peace with my solitude. So you need to start thinking that you're the prize and start putting those seeds of security in you. Otherwise, you would be feeling miserable like this for the rest of your life. So it's good that you're already on the path, and I can already see that you can pull yourself out through this. This happens to the best of us. So yeah, I think you will use my advice and this will really work out for you. Whoa, so those were heavy, but I really enjoyed this, and I think I'm going to do more of iced tea with Ira. And I cannot wait for more questions to drop in. So if you want to send a message, and because this is anonymous, you can find me on Instagram. You can search irreplaceable.podcast and you can send me your messages that, hey, I need an advice on so and so, and you can just drop in your whole text. And on the next episode, I will give you my advice of what I would do in your situation and what would really help you out. So I hope you enjoyed this segment. And give me a 5-star rating. Let me know what you think. And please download this episode if you like it, because downloads really help my podcast. So that's all for today's episode. Bye.